Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to my WWE 205 live review for March 28th, 2017. And I'm just going to get right into it. We had Corey Graves and Tom Phillips on commentary for this show. And first, Neville gets interviewed. And before I kind of continue, I did hear that the Cruiserweight Championship match got demoted to the pre-show. Not happy about that. It sucks, I personally think. I understand you want to have 3 matches on the pre-show. I did look at the code. The only matches you could technically say that deserves to be on the pre-show is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the SmackDown Women's Title match. The Cruiserweight title match, I guess you could say fits in that category, but I think this is complete bullshit, and here's why. It's a number of reasons. One, you just did the Cruiserweight Classics this summer. And you were trying to put up the cruiserweight. You were trying to put over the cruiserweights like they were this big thing. And the first time they were at WrestleMania, they're on the pre-show. That's not saying a lot. Another reason is the cruiserweights were finally starting to get some momentum going. Neville was having these great matches with the title. He was really establishing that title, making it mean something, actually giving the title purpose. He actually was pretty much revitalized the cruiserweight division. And you have a guy like Austin Aries, who is a well-established name. Everybody knows who he is. And pretty much all that work that Neville did and with Austin Aries being the guy he is, having to be put on the pre-show just kind of throws all that work away. Another reason is because this is going to be Neville's first WrestleMania, and this is going to be Austin Aries' first WrestleMania. And they're on the pre-show. That's dumb. And another reason I just thought of too is this match could have been a real show stealer for WrestleMania. It could have sent people out there. It could have really made them happy. And it's on the pre-show. Like, this match probably is going to be needed for the main card, but that they stuck it to the pre-show. I personally think that's stupid. And I also think it's stupid that a lot of that everybody they put in the Cruiserweight Classics for the summer, none of them are on WrestleMania. All 32 competitors are nowhere to be found at WrestleMania. They're probably just going to be thrown into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is dumb. So yeah, the fact that the Cruiserweight title is on the pre-show is stupid. Because I have a match later on that could have easily fit with the kickoff of WrestleMania. But let's just get on with the show. So the show starts off with Neville getting interviewed, and he talks about how he felt like he was disrespected and the WWE Universe didn't care about him after what happened on Monday Night Raw where Austin Aries made fun of him. So he says that tonight he's going to show you what 205 Live is going to be like without Austin Aries. So then we had the first actual match on the show, and it was Rich Swann versus Arya Daivari. I know originally this was supposed to be Noam Dar, but he ended up getting injured in his match with Austin Aries last night, so they went with this match instead. And this match I actually thought was pretty good. Rich Swann dominates the first half of it. He hits a Hurricane driving Daivari out of the ring. He goes for a dive on the floor, but Daivari catches him and he just throws him face first onto the announcer's table. Then he throws him head first into the post, and eventually Daivari just dominates the matchup. And then eventually, Rich Swann starts to make his comeback. He hits a inverted Michinoku driver on him. Daivari kicks out. Daivari takes control of the matchup again. Hits a frog splash on Swann. Swann actually ended up kicking out, which I was actually surprised about. Then eventually Swann hits a Hurricane from the top rope, and he hits a Phoenix Splash for the win. And Rich Swann wins, and I actually thought this was a really good opening matchup, so this was really good. 2 guys, though, that are involved with WrestleMania. Daivari doesn't really deserve it, but Rich Swann, he was Cruiserweight Champion for a while. He was actually doing some interesting things, and he's completely left out of WrestleMania, so that's great. And then Alicia Fox is backstage, and she talks about how Noam Dar may be injured, but he's going to come back stronger than ever, and he's going to be the face of the Cruiserweight division. And Rich Swann comes up and says that you can handle this or something. He pretty much kind of flirts with her. And then Alicia Fox receives another gift and ends up being perfume. and he says, I wonder who got you that for you. So that pretty much means it's Rich Swann. I don't necessarily think he has a crush on Alicia Fox. I just think he's doing this to fuck with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox, which, you asshole, it's not, stay out of people's love life. And yeah, I personally don't care about this storyline. So then Mustafa Ali actually was backstage. I didn't write this down in my notes. And Drew Gulak comes up to him, and he congratulates him with his match against Neville, and he talks about how he didn't get the job done. And he says, and he knows why. And then Mustafa was like, look, I know you're gonna tell me not to do all these flips and not to do all the crazy stuff that I do, but I personally think it's the right thing. And Drew Gulak says that it's not the right thing, because of the fact that you put yourself body at risk all the time, and you don't even just for the fans, but you don't even know because the flip you do could be the last flip. And he said that he wants to change the state of 205 Live, and he looks back and talks about how the fans shouldn't be tricked into these flips and kicks being good matches. They should just stick to good mat-based wrestling. And then Mustafa Ali's music actually started playing, and this pisses off Drew Gulak. So I actually thought this was funny, and I actually kind of like this whole thing they're going with Drew Gulak, how he wants to change the cruiserweight division, change the state of 205 Live. I like it. I kind of can't wait to see where they go with this. But then we had the actual match. So then we had Mustafa Ali versus Brandon Scott. This was pretty much a squash. Mustafa Ali wins with the inverted 450. Nothing to this. Drew Gulak was watching backstage. And then it shows the build-up to the Cruiserweight Championship match for WrestleMania. It shows Neville his dominance in the division. And then Austin Aries attacking him. Aries winning the fatal 5-way match to get into the to get the match at WrestleMania. And then Aries talking about how he's going to take the title from him and everything. So I actually liked the build-up. Video package. And then we had the main event match on the show. It was Akira Tozawa versus the Brian Kendrick. I actually thought this was a really good match. I don't know why they put this match here, though. This match belonged I personally think this match belonged on the kickoff of WrestleMania, not the main card, the kickoff. These two men had done enough to get a match at WrestleMania, and they could have easily just thrown them into the kickoff, right where the Cruiserweight title match probably is going to be, and then you could have had the Cruiserweight title match be on the main card itself. I personally think that's stupid that they didn't have this match at WrestleMania. And Akira Tozawa pretty much kicks Kendrick's ass throughout the beginning of this match. He hits a suicide dive on the outside. He hits a senton right onto Kendrick in the ring off the top rope, and Kendrick ended up kicking out of it. And then Akira Tozawa just continuously beats the crap out of Kendrick. Kendrick eventually gets him into the captain's hook. Tozawa reverses it, and he hits a suicide dive again onto Kendrick. And eventually Kendrick hits a drop toe hold, sending Tozawa face first onto the the ramp, the metal part of the ramp. And then Kendrick dominates the matchup. He hits a suplex from the apron onto Tozawa, and he pretty much takes control of the matchup. Then eventually Tozawa starts to make a comeback. He hits a pump kick onto Kendrick, and he hits another dive on the floor. Then eventually Kendrick hits the sliced bread onto Tozawa. Tozawa kicks out, and then eventually Kendrick tries to go for it off the top rope, but Tozawa fights out of it. Then the turnbuckle gets exposed. Tozawa hits another pump kick, and then he goes to charge at him in the turnbuckle. Kendrick moves out of the way. Tozawa hits his head off the exposed turnbuckle. Kendrick rolls him up for the win. And I didn't really understand why they had Kendrick win. This match really should have just been the blow-off match of the feud. They had done enough where you don't really need to have any more matches. But then afterwards, Kendrick gets on the mic and says that was lesson number 9. Anything is legal in the ring. So this pretty much means this feud's going to continue. And I don't mind the feud, but it's like it really doesn't need to continue any further. So I don't get it. And then we had the main event segment on the show. It shows 205 Live without Neville. And Neville talks about everything that he pretty much did. How he missed WrestleMania 3 weeks before and got injured. And how he came back and he revolutionized the Cruiserweight division. and he says that none of you guys really appreciate me. So he says that he's going to show people what the cruiserweight division is like without him. And then he shows the footage, and there is no footage. At first, when they actually did this, I actually thought the guys messed up backstage, but no. And then he says that without me, there would be no cruiserweight division. There would be no 205 Live. And then Austin Aries interrupts him, and Austin Aries says that Neville is just a guy that constantly puts people down. He doesn't give credit where it's due, and that's what Austin Aries does. He talks about how there would be 205 Live without Neville, but that just wouldn't be as good. And he talks about how Neville is a great performer, and they say that that's where we're different, but where we're both the same is we both had to scratch and claw to get here. We both had to scratch and claw to get to WrestleMania, and we're both going to bring the best in each other. And Aries says that no matter what spot we are on the card, we're going to go out there and we're going to tear the house down, which I kind of like that he cut this promo, because I think he knows that people are trash, like I just did, are trashing the fact that they won the kickoff, so I did kind of like that he said this. And then Aries says that he's going to take the cruiserweight, and then before he could finish his sentence, Neville takes a cheap shot at Aries, beats the crap out of him, and then he goes to leave. Then Neville goes to continue the attack, and Aries hits him off the head with a microphone and goes for the last chancery, but Neville escapes, and Aries stands tall. I kind of don't think this is a good sign. I like the fact that Aries stood tall, and I like this segment and everything, but I personally think that that I hope this isn't showing signs that Aries is losing the match at Mania, because I personally think he should be the one that takes the Cruiserweight title from Neville at Mania. I really wouldn't mind if Neville won at Mania, but I think the timing's here right now for Aries to win this Cruiserweight title. It could be a huge moment for him, so I hope that's what happens. But that's pretty much it for 205 Live. And I actually thought this was a really good show. I liked the match. I liked pretty much everything on the show. There was nothing really I hated except the whole Rich Swann storyline and the fact that I found out that the kickoff match is going to have the Cruiserweights on it. But that's where the Cruiserweights are going to go. I also hated the fact that Kendrick and Tozawa fought here instead of at WrestleMania. So there's stuff I still hated on the show, but overall it was pretty good. And the matches delivered that I liked. And I actually wasn't a fan of the booking decision too to have Kendrick go over instead of Tozawa just to end off the feud. So those things I didn't like. So if I had to rate this show, I probably rated it a 7 out of 10 because I actually thought it was good. And I actually thought this was probably better than both Raw and SmackDown this week. I just thought it was. So that's kind of funny how things work out. But that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to subscribe to my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.